Good morning. I am Technical Sergeant Skylar Cooper from the 324th Training Squadron, and I will be your narrator for today's ceremony. Today's event is a celebration of the remarkable achievements of these graduating airmen. It is also a ceremony that both teaches and appreciates our United States military heritage. Over the last 7.5 weeks, these airmen have been transformed from civilians into motivated, disciplined warrior airmen with the foundation to serve in the world's greatest United States Air and Space Forces. Once these airmen leave basic military training, they will continue on to technical training to learn the skills needed to perform in their unique specialties. They will then transition on to numerous bases around the world, some working directly with our sister services. Of the hundreds of thousands of American citizens that enter the workforce each year, less than 1% have joined the ranks of the United States military. These airmen have reached a milestone in their military journey and will require your continued support to assist them in their future endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of our official party and the playing of the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, rendering a flying salute to our graduated airmen were 4 T-6 Alphas. These aircraft are from the 559th Flying Training Squadron, 12th Flying Training Wing, Joint Base San Antonio Randolph Air Force Base, Texas. Please remain standing for the invocation given by Chaplain Morgan.
I invite you to pray with me. Almighty God, we rejoice this morning in the accomplishment of these new airmen who are about to complete BMT. We thank you for all who trained, supported, and encouraged them through this journey. They have worked long and hard to get to this point, including long marches to the neighboring DFAC in the blistering sun. And as you strengthen them for those challenges, please continue to strengthen them for the challenges ahead, that they may truly be ready for battle. May it be the dawn of a great era as these airmen go on to become the leaders and heroes of their generation, modern knights of valor, taking on the mantle of those who now serve. We pray also for your protection over them and all serving in our military, protecting others. Bless and keep them in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Morgan. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's basic military training graduation ceremony. We would like to introduce our distinguished guests, beginning with the hosts for today's ceremony. The commander and representing the superintendent, Air Force Basic Military Training, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, Colonel Michael Newsom and Chief Master Sergeant Gabriel Lewis. Our guest speakers, the Commander and the Command Chief, 37th Training Wing, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, Colonel Rocky Wilson, and Chief Master Sergeant Stefan Blazier. From the graduating squadron, the Commander and Superintendent, 324th Training Squadron, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Vale, and Chief Master Sergeant Nicole Hicks. Also in attendance with us today, the Vice Commander, 37th Training Wing, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, Colonel Megan Schaefer. Although time does not permit us to introduce all of our distinguished guests, the 737th Training Group is proud to welcome each of you. We hope you enjoy today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, the Command Chief, 37th Training Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Blazier will now come forward and address our graduating airmen.
Well, good morning, everyone. For those of you watching from home, whether it's anywhere around the world, good evening, good night, but thank you for being here with us. This is a very special day. This is not the manner we would normally prefer, but it doesn't change that we want to share it with you. It's a huge honor to be standing here and addressing our new wingmen, leaders, and warriors. These 574 graduates have been through a lot. My teammate, Colonel Wilson, and I had the pleasure of PTing with the Knights of the 324th Training Squadron 3 weeks ago. I had the honor to speak to them in the room right behind me just 13 days ago, and I challenged them to stay hungry for this moment, for their chance, for their opportunity, and I told them to not let it slip. And here they are. Here you are. You came here to basic military training for many reasons. Maybe it was to get out of a bad situation, to see the world, to get an education, to continue a family tradition, to make a sibling proud, or to provide for your family. With each reason, it was fueled by the idea that something better was out there, and you were on a quest to find it. And again, here you are. There was one word I asked you to become sick and tired of being called. What was it? Do you remember what was it? Trainees. And today, you will not be called that any longer. I thought about what I could pass on to you as you begin your journey into the Air and Space Force. What I'd like to share is the lessons I've learned since standing in your shoes 22 years ago. It can be summarized by 3 words that I think you've become to know pretty well. Fly, fight, and win. For the past 7.5 weeks, you've been building your wings for the tests and challenges to come, to be able to jump and leap for greatness. Some of you had doubts that you could. I certainly did. Some of you asked the question, what did I get myself into? I did. But you persevered. You proved to yourself that when you apply discipline and teamwork to the talents and skills and abilities that you were born with, you find out that you can truly fly. This is what airmen do. We aim high. Every day we wake up and chase excellence. And we know that of all the duty titles that we may hold in our careers, non-commissioned officer, flight chief, military training instructor, a command chief, or even a commander, the title we must hold the most dear of all of them is an American airman. This is what bonds us. This is what creates the sword and shield for our nation. Another thing I want you to think about is when I left BMT, I was naive to think that every leader or supervisor that I see would be perfect, that they would always be 100% in line with everything my military training instructor set the example on. However, when I saw something or somebody doing something wrong, I would immediately blame the institution. I would blame the Air Force. I want each and every one of you to pause for a second. I want you to look left. I want you to look right. That is the Air Force. What I failed to realize is the Air Force is not something. It is you. It is me. It is all of us. It is made up of people who will make mistakes. There's not a person here today who hasn't made many. It's only human. What we must continue to do is fight for the institution together, to uphold the faith in each other, to stay united and committed to our values of integrity, service, and excellence, which are not values that we just serve by, they are ones that we live by. values of dignity and respect, and genuine care for our wingmen, every single one of them. That is what we fight for. And lastly, I want you to think about winning. Think about the most successful championship sports teams you've ever known. I'm talking about the dynasties, the San Antonio Spurs, the New York Yankees, and even my own Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hey, a guy can dream, can't he? But none of them have anything to do or can touch the United States Air Force. This month, we will celebrate 73 years as the most dominant air and space power the world has ever seen. Generation after generation of airmen have raised their hands to continue to ensure our service was always ready to own the high ground. From the soil that we stand on to the outer edges of space, this legacy forms the long blue line of airmen that you are now a part of, where the standard is winning and always being ready to answer the call to defend freedom. But we can and we will be better, and you will take us there. And now it's time to make it official. Congratulations and welcome to the team. To our newest brothers and sisters in arms, I'm proud to call you my fellow airmen.
Thank you, Chief Blazier. This morning, we pay special tribute to the men and women before us. They have successfully completed all graduation requirements and have demonstrated that they are ready to take their place as airmen in the world's greatest air and space forces. We will mark their transition today from trainees to airmen by presenting them with the coveted Airman's Coin. Today's ceremony celebrates the remarkable accomplishments of this graduating class. Our nation's future rests upon the dedication of this new class of warriors who we honor today. Chief Master Sergeant Hicks, the Superintendent, 324th Training Squadron, will now say a few words.
Airmen, I will simply leave you with this. You are joining a team that will look to you to define the character of our Air Force for years to come. We have the utmost faith in you because every time you recite our Airman's Creed, you adamantly proclaim that you will not fail, and we believe you. As your superintendent, I hereby acknowledge your completion of all basic training graduation requirements and have recommended to the commander of basic military training that you will receive your Airman's Coin. Congratulations, Airmen. Military training instructors, you may proceed.
At this part of the ceremony, the military training instructors will distribute the venerable Airman's Coin. The lore of military coins have many colorful, if only suspected, origins. However, a popular story stems from American volunteer-formed flying squadrons in France during World War I. One of the volunteers was a wealthy lieutenant who took great pride in his service and had medallions cast in bronze with his squadron's emblem on them. He gave these medallions to every member of his unit. Not long after, one of the pilots was shot down behind enemy lines and was captured by a German patrol. The German forces took all of the pilot's possessions, except for the pilot's medallion that he had around his neck. While in a confinement in a small French village, the captured pilot took advantage of a nighttime bombardment by the Allies. He donned civilian clothes and escaped. After crossing the front lines to safety, he came across a French outpost where the French initially thought him a saboteur until he showed them his unit coin. The French forces recognized the unit emblem, and instead of any harsher treatment, he received a bottle of wine. Today, there are many military units that have developed their own unique coins and specific rules for them. Many organizations give out their unit coins in recognition of outstanding performances and achievements. The coin the airmen received today is unique in that it originates here at the gateway to the Air Force and is only given to those who complete the rigorous course of instruction and cross into the blue. On one side of the coin, the original emblem of the Air Force resides, as envisioned by General Henry Hap Arnold, one of the original military aviators and later commander of the Army Air Forces in World War II. Beneath the emblem, the date, 1947, the birthday of the United States Air Force. And around the rim of the coin, the venerable core values of the Air Force: integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. Inscribed on the other side of the coin is the new recognized emblem of the Air Force, a symbol that honors the heritage of our past and represents the promise of our future. the emblem retains the core elements of the Henry Hap Arnold emblem, the Arnold wings, and the star within a circle. The modern effect of the emblem reflects our Air and Space Force today and into the future. Inscribed in the half circle above the new Air Force emblem is our motto, aim high, fly, fight, win. And on the border of the coin, a reminder to all those who see this is inscribed, awarded on the occasion of becoming an airman in the world's greatest Air Force.
Congratulations, Airmen. Now how about that squadron pride? Instructors, place your flights at attention. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as our newest airmen recite the Airman's Creed. I am an American Airman. Thank you. Please be seated. Instructors, place your flights at ease. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, 37th Training Wing, Colonel Wilson.
All right, good morning. First, I need to apologize on behalf of our command team for the Chiefs' comment on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was completely unnecessary. All right, well, I know you're not at liberty to laugh, but hopefully you will later. All right, good morning, Airmen, family members joining us via live stream, and the cadre and the staff of basic military training. Let me begin by saying to the families, we are so happy that you are here joining us today via live stream. While you may not be here physically, please know that you are here in spirit, in our hearts, and in our minds. 7.5 weeks ago, you entrusted us with our nation's treasures, with your sons and your daughters. Your support has pushed these airmen successfully to complete basic military training and join the world's greatest air and space force. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you for your support, your encouragement, but most importantly, for your trust with your sons and your daughters. It is my great honor to address you in a ceremony introducing our 574 newest airmen from the 324th Training Squadron as our newest airmen here today. To you airmen, congratulations. You are joining less than 0.5% of our national populace that has answered our nation's call. During your time here at Lackland in training with the 324th, you've been shaped and you've been molded into the best possible versions of yourselves. As Chief Blazer mentioned, this is very personal for he and I, as we had the opportunity to PT with you, we had the opportunity to address you in formation, he had the opportunity to address you here at the PRC. This is absolutely personal. When we spoke, we talked about making the most out of this challenge, not seeing it as a chore or a task or something, difficult, but rather as an opportunity to improve yourselves and to change. Speaking of opportunities, I had a great opportunity before I came here, just weeks before my change of command a couple months ago as a 37th Training Wing Commander, and I had the chance to speak with General David Goldfein, our 21st Chief of Staff of the Air Force, now retired. When I spoke with him, I asked him, "Sir, what message would you ask me to send to our newest airmen?" And he asked that I emphasize 2 points. The first, character matters. Character mattered in getting here to BMT. Character mattered throughout BMT. It matters here today, and it will always matter. And second, that competency and what you do is critical to everything. When speaking about character, General Goldfein mentioned that as you rise in rank or responsibility, the more problems you'll have, the bigger the challenges you'll have to overcome. These problems will test your character. Each of you will have to make decisions. Decisions with costs, decisions with benefits, pros, cons. Sometimes they could possibly mean the difference in life and death. But when the time comes, the training that you've received here at basic military training and through your tech training in the future and at your home station, you'll know that you are ready. These choices will be where your character matters most. When faced with a dilemma, ask yourself, will this decision tarnish your name, or will it build trust with your fellow airmen? With each decision, you will realize that living out our core values is a journey. It's not a destination. There is no end. Your character will be put to the test every day, and your cumulative decisions will shape the fate of our force. Now, that said, graduation today also signifies your entrance into a very elite force. And you will need to earn that title of airman every single day. And you'll do it through a commitment to your competency as well. General Goldfein's message urged you to sharpen your blade, learn your trade, learn it well, because our adversaries never sleep. Train to be better than you were yesterday, so when the time comes and the day arises when our enemy learns that they picked the wrong adversary. So we've talked about character, and when I think about character, I think about integrity and I think about service. And we've talked about competency. When I talk about competency, I think of excellence. So let your core values guide you in your time of need and model them every day for those around you, and you'll be fine. You'll be better than fine. And at the end of this someday, when you're sitting on your rocking chair, much older, and you have grandchildren up running around, and one hops on your knee and they ask you about your time in the Air Force, the question is, how proud will you be of the way that you served? The answer to that question is embedded in your own core values and how you execute them every single day. Thank you, Chief 21, for your words of inspiration and for your wisdom. Airmen, in closing, you should be very proud of yourselves. We're very proud of you. Your family's proud of you. Nobody gave you this. Nobody gave you anything. You've done this. You took it. You earned it. It wasn't easy. It wasn't meant to be easy. But you've persevered. You got through it. You made it. You did it. Always remember that. Have confidence in yourselves for your accomplishments. Congratulations to you all. Now, all right, Airmen, I have just one question for you. Are you ready to join the ranks of the world's greatest air and space force? All right, I think they're ready.
Instructors, place your flights at attention. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Colonel Wilson will now administer the oath of enlistment.
If you would, now please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States. And the orders of the officers appointed over me. According to the regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. Congratulations, Airmen, and welcome to the world's greatest air and space force.
Thank you, Colonel Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the singing of the Air Force song and the departure of our official party.
1, 2, ready, sing!
Off we go to wild blue yonder, climbing high to the sun. Here it comes soon to meet our thunder.
From the 324th Training Squadron, Flight 613, led by Technical Sergeant Benjamin Judy, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Davenport, Iowa. Flight 614, led by Technical Sergeant Martin Renzi, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Gloucester City, New Jersey. Flight 615, led by Technical Sergeant Kenneth Messick, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Summerville, South Carolina. Flight 616, led by Technical Sergeant Michael Griffith, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Fort Hood, Texas. Flight 617, led by Technical Sergeant Andrew Hay, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Rockford, Alabama. Flight 618, led by Technical Sergeant Jackson Deriska, Military Training Instructor, Hometown, Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Flight 619, led by Technical Sergeant Brooke Held, Military Training Instructor Trainer, Hometown, Knoxville, Tennessee. Flight 620, led by Technical Sergeant Devin Bain, Military Training Instructor, Hometown, Clarksville, Tennessee. Flight 621, led by Technical Sergeant James Wernke, Military Training Instructor Trainer, Hometown, Cincinnati, Ohio. Academic Excellence, Flight 622, led by Technical Sergeant Matthew McLeay, Military Training Instructor, Hometown, Decatur, Alabama. PT Excellence, Flight 623, led by Technical Sergeant Richard Simmons, Military Training Instructor, Hometown, Evington, Virginia. Flight 624, led by Technical Sergeant Charlie Maskell, military training instructor, hometown, Fairfield, Maine. Flight 625, led by Technical Sergeant Shakita James, military training instructor, hometown, Chicago, Illinois. Flight 626, led by Technical Sergeant Benjamin Perry, Blue Rope Master Military Training Instructor, hometown, South San Francisco, California. Flight 627, led by Technical Sergeant Daniel Sotelo, military training instructor, hometown, Melrose Park, Illinois. Flight 628, led by Technical Sergeant Jacob Peoples, military training instructor, hometown, Austin, Texas. PT Excellence, Flight 629, led by Technical Sergeant John Diaz-Colon, military training instructor, hometown, El Paso, Texas.